Welcome to the Growing with Charles Malki podcast. I am the co-founder of Ivory Organic Brand Products and America's leading garden product YouTube channel. I look forward to answering your questions. You can email us at info@ivoryorganics.com or leave us a voice message at 800-875-0336. And be sure to include your first name, your city and state, and your grow zone, and we will do our best to answer as many questions as possible on this show. Also, one participant that makes the show will be selected to win an Ivory Organic Brand prize and free shipping in the United States. So let's begin by answering some of your most frequently asked questions, starting with, what is the difference between the Ivory Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard and the Ivory Organic Whitewash products? The major difference between the 3-in-1 Plant Guard product is that it is a yellow label, firstly, and contains 7 natural oils. Those oils include castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint oils. These oils naturally repel most insects and rodents. Specifically, for example, the mints and the castor oils in the product are natural rodent repellent deterrents. And for those of you that are dealing with issues such as girdling trees, this oil, when brushed on with these base ingredients, will help offer that protection that you're seeking, as well as many of us understand the value of like garlic oil, for example, in deterring aphids from your roses. And that's another powerful ingredient that you'll find in the 3-in-1 Plant Guard product. Both the 3-in-1 and the whitewash, which is the blue label product, which is oil free, are intended to protect your plants from both summer sunburn as well as winter sun scald. Again, 3-in-1 Plant Guard and the whitewash, so both the yellow and the blue label products, will help curb weather extremes, again, whether they be in the summer or in the winter. But if you're specifically looking for the added value of protecting your plants from insects and rodents, then you're going to be looking for using the 3-in-1 Plant Guard product. The next question we often get is, the Ivory Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard and whitewash products are available in many colors, including white, brown, green, gray, and greige. And the question is, does it matter which color is used? The short answer is no, it doesn't matter. Naturally, white reflects the most light and therefore heat, and will keep your plants the coolest and basically help curb those weather extremes the best. However, the example I like giving is, regardless of the color of shirt you're wearing when you're at the beach, the fact that you have a shirt covering and protecting your skin, you're going to offer your body protection from burn. And similarly, the colors brown and green and gray and greige that our products are available are still going to protect the bark and ultimately the underlying cambium layer, which is what's moving the sugars and waters throughout the plant. And you're basically protecting the vascular tissues that underlie the bark by whitewashing your trees. Another question we often get is, what is the difference between the Ivory Organics all-purpose fertilizers, Super Blend and Premium Blend? The answer for that is that most fertilizers in the country focus on just offering your plants 3 macronutrients, and those are your NPK. On the periodic table, N stands for nitrogen, P for phosphorus, and K for potassium. Those are 3 macronutrients that are vital for plant metabolism, growth, greening, flowering, fruiting, and so forth. However, there's 3 more macronutrients that most fertilizers do not contain that you'll find in the Ivory Organics all-purpose fertilizers. The additional 3 macronutrients you'll find in our products include sulfur, which is important for greening of the plant and also metabolic processes within the plant. Calcium accounts for about a third of the dry weight of a plant and is found in the cell walls of the plant. And the last one is magnesium, the heart of the chlorophyll molecule. All 6 plant macronutrients, which include, again, your NPK and then MGSCA, are the 6 macronutrients you'll find in the all-purpose fertilizers. And then the big difference between the Super Blend and the Premium Blend fertilizers is that the Super Blend has plus azomite. And azomite is simply crushed volcanic rock to deliver a lot of the micronutrient nutrition to your plants as well. Lastly, the Super Blend has a slightly higher NPK percentage compared to the Premium Blend fertilizers that has a slightly lower NPK percentage. And then the last question that I want to share with you that is frequently asked is, how often should I be fertilizing my plants? And the shorter answer is, it depends. And also the amount and the quantity of fertilizer your plants, it also depends on the time of the year and what's necessarily going on with that specific plant and or tree. In general, and most people get this wrong, the most important time for feeding your plants or trees is the month of May. Most people think spring, so March, and other people think summer. But summer is actually a closer guess, being that the light hours are at a maximum come that first day of summer, June 21st, usually June 22nd. And so the light hours are peaking, the temperatures are warmer, so the plant's metabolism is also peaking. And it's important to make sure that all of the nutrition that you can offer those plants are available. And that is the reason why using an organic fertilizer, such as the Ivory Organics all purpose fertilizers, it's most important to apply them in the month of May to give a chance for the soil biology to break the products down and make those elements readily available to the plant come June. And so, again, the most important month of the year for feeding your plants, the answer is May. But then you should consider come spring. And again, depending on where you are and what your grow zone is, for us here in Los Angeles, here in Southern California, our spring weather really begins early February. So we may begin to start fertilizing our plants with about half the recommended dose starting in February. So your citrus trees, your avocados, and so much more, you can begin adding some nutrition at the soil level in the month of February. Whereas those living, for example, in a Northern California climate might be waiting until closer to April. Whereas for people living in a Northern California climate, for example, maybe waiting until the month of April to do that initial fertilizer application at about half the recommended dose. You should be applying the maximum recommended amount of fertilizer again in the month of May in preparation for the longest day and the warmest days of the year. And then now going back into August and September, usually the month of August, early fall, again, another half application of the recommended fertilizer amount, as again, the metabolism of the plant is beginning to slow down as the plant is now preparing for the winter hibernation. And a lot of plants, for example, maybe your cherry and apples and deciduous trees that drop their leaves, no need to be fertilizing those plants because they're asleep, and you don't want to be giving them a boost of nitrogen that's going to motivate them to grow during their slumber. On the contrary, for your plants that are citrus and or mangoes and or avocados that are in the tropical family where they're evergreen through the winter months, you may want to consider a foliar application because again, you're now in the winter months, the soil is damp and cold and the light hours are short, and most plants don't uptake nutrition well at the soil level. And in order to get all of the elements into the plant, the most effective way of accomplishing that in the winter months, and especially again for those plants that I just named just a few of, the best way to get that nutrition in there is through foliar application. And these products, you'll notice on the bags, the small 11.8 ounce bags make up to 20 gallons of foliar application that you can do for your tropicals in the winter months, as well as the larger 4-pound bags can make up to 120 gallons. These products have also been effectively added to drip irrigation systems, can be applied for your potted plants. And this is again where, again, it comes to, it depends. Your potted plants you're going to want to be fertilizing throughout the growing season. So starting in spring through summer and early fall, perhaps on a monthly basis, because every time you're watering your potted plant, that nutrition is seeping out of the container. Hopefully the plant's taking in the majority of it. But again, with each watering, you're basically diluting the nutrition within the soil compared to your in-ground plantings that you can do a 3 application per year and accomplish phenomenal results with your spring, summer, and early fall fertilizing applications. So I hope you've all enjoyed our first show. Join us on all of our social media platforms, including Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and of course, if you can't watch, you can catch us wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's keep growing and wishing you all happy gardening.